nigga shit I do a lot of. Nigga, we be sipping out the bottle. I be fresh as hell, rockin' Prada.
Well, day 2 of this project. I'm about to head over to the Home Depot and grab me a Dremel tool and get this thing going. So went to Home Depot and got this thing. Don't get this thing. This, I thought it would be decent enough just to cut the plastic, but it just kept on shutting down on me. So don't use this. Get this instead. Went to Home Depot and swapped it out for the bigger, badder one. I didn't give a shit. I needed to get something that's going to work and not screw with me. So here we go. So this is definitely not a fun. This is just the beginning of the trim, because I don't know, you can't really tell, but maybe you can, but you see where the red is at. I still need to trim it down more, but this is just kind of like the first round of trim. One thing I do need to understand is that, you know, I'm adding a thickness to this top lens. So essentially, if the bottom lens is removed, this won't sit 100% properly on the frame because of the thickness of the red lens. So we'll see what happens, but this is just the very first cut of all the big stuff. And I'm just using the cutoff wheel that they have. It's super messy. Definitely got to wear a mask and glasses. Wet or hot plastic is flying all over the place. It sucks, but it's doing a job. Later I'll get the other bits, that like a little sander bit on there, and then flatten these edges out. Once I go all the way around and do this to all the other edges, I'll bust out the red, and we'll see what that looks like. So one thing to keep in mind, you guys, is that these Dremel tools, they'll cut that shit so quick, and you got to be really careful on you know, not cutting the black housing part of the light. You definitely don't want to have any sort of water get in there. So I cranked it up and just took my time around the edges, but about 15-20 minutes it took me to get all that stuff out, to kind of get the rough idea of where this lens is going to be, because this is not the final cut. Final cut will come here in a little bit, and I'll explain to you what needs to be done next. But yeah, just clean up some edges, making sure it's not sharp. Well, there's the lens. This is before I do any more trim work to it. Which I think all the trim work will be done after I knock out the red. So not bad for the first bit. Thought is, maybe if I get this cleaned up enough, I can make a mold of it and do my own acrylics. I don't know, but not bad. All right, busted out the red lens. No way of salvaging it. I tried heating up the edges and tried pulling it, but there's no glue. It's all, I guess, somewhat plastic welded to this thing. So, you know, it leaves all this red lens, you know, left there. A lot of people will run the lens just like this without putting anything over it, paint this so that it looks nice and clean, and that's it, and they call it a day. But what I'm doing is I made this lens, and so my goal is to clean up this edge here, all the edges, right? Make more of a little concave, get black sealant, throw a bead around the entire thing, put the lens on, however it's gonna sit, and, damn it, however it's gonna sit, let it dry, and then come back in and trim off the excess plexiglass to make it even tighter of a fit. Because what's happening is this lens is too big for the opening in the trunk for it. So still got some work to do, but I think it's looking good. Looking good. So, like I said, the lens was too big for the opening in the trunk. And that was to be expected, because I knew that I was adding size the lens, doing it over the original lens. And you can see here, like it's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, except for that part there, which is a little bit more. But like I said, putting the sealer on it, setting the lens in place, and then trimming it, I'm gonna go ahead and it'll fit perfect. I won't have any issues at all. I'll be able to sculpt that lens even better after it's attached to the housing, and everything should sit pretty damn good. So now I'm gonna have to well out that little edge right there where the red's at, so that the ceiling could sit somewhere nice. That shouldn't take too long with the new tool, another tool that I have. I'll show you that in a bit, but everything seems to be going well and fitting well, and I think we're gonna have a really good fitment after everything is glued together. So let me go over to the bench and
so what I did in video was taking this little tool and going along the edge and just creating a divot in there, get rid of some of the red plastic, so that when I put the adhesive sealant stuff, it has, it has a little channel to go to. I used the original one I used was that bigger one, and I fucked up that edge, so don't use that. Use the little guy, but you won't see any of that once it's all in the car and stuff, so I'm not too worried about it. But this, I think this was the backup light, which had this lens integrated with the red lens. So that was in by itself. But all these lights, I don't know if you guys know this, but all these lights are LEDs. There's two little LEDs for your reverse lights in there. I can't see where these lights are. I don't know, but see, this is the reason why I think it needs to be sealed, is because it's open to the elements, and water's going to get in there and short out your shit. So doing this and not having a new lens over it, I don't think is a good idea. So that's why I opted to do it with a new lens to seal everything up after, and I think it's going to work pretty well. You can see how much excess I'm going to have to cut off, and how much, how much excess I got to cut off, but that'll be fine, because that's going to make the fitment even that much more tight. You won't see the red because the black sealant that's going to go in there will cover that up, but I will do whatever I can to get as much red as I can out of there, but I'm not too concerned. But yeah, so once the sealant's on there, I'll go back in with the Dremel and trim all the way up to the black housing and remove all that excess. And this is the reason why I wanted to get it as close as I could, so I didn't have that much trimming left to do. And this is another reason why this top part, when I first did it, where is it at? This top part over here, I was concerned that I didn't have enough lens to go over, but knowing that I got to trim it even more, I'm okay with it. So I know that I didn't screw it up too much, just like this one. So like, where is it? Here. See that? I fucked that one up, and I'm hoping that when I get this one to this point, that won't be an issue, but it's really, really close. So we'll see. But I can still move it around a little bit, because there still is some play in the lens, because it's oversized from the original lens. So that's working to my advantage. I do got the curvature here and there, but that's it. I couldn't get the angle of the original red lens in the new plexiglass lens, but I'm okay with it. It looks pretty cool. I mocked it up and it looks really good. So little by little, just inching away. Yeah, these are the easier ones. My biggest challenge is going to be those motherfuckers right there. That's going to be a little difficult, but I'm up to the challenge knowing how well these came out. I think my biggest challenge with that one is you can see here how it flows with the body line a little bit. So, just getting all those different curves and contours and stuff, I'm gonna have to really work at. So I'll do those later. I'm gonna finish up these two, make them as perfect as I can, and go from there. I know my video is kind of dark right now because I'm in the garage and it's light out, but check this out. This is with the lens off, right? The red lens off. This is what it looks like. See? So for you guys that are questioning if it's red underneath, yes, it throws out a red light. It's not as bright as the, you know, with the red lens over it, but it still works. So yeah.